there's Reese Witherspoon, there's Hello Sunshine. And so I want to first start off with, how did that come together?
Twitter DMs. That's how everything starts. Reese just slid into my DMs and I freaked out. And that's how everything began, a conversation on Twitter, which was really crazy.
Welcome to another episode of The Dem Show. I'm Mebineta. We have Atare and Diamond. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey,
Doing good? And
Doing
then
well.
we have our super special guests of the episode, Yam and Raph, co-founders of World of Women. I'm so excited. How are you guys?
Doing good. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Like, for me, today is such a special episode because it's crazy. Like, when we started this podcast, one of the first things I said were my two favorite projects are World of Women and 10KTF. And in a matter of 4 months, we have the founders of WoW with us on a podcast. We got to be captains included in the story in 10KTF. It's like, it's crazy. Like, we're so grateful. And like, considering that WoW is the project that brought me into the NFT space in the first place. So I'm so happy to have you here, guys. And yeah, can't wait to start this conversation. So yeah, Atare, Dama, you have anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say, like, my introduction to WoW was Mebineta, because I was in 10KTF, and I would always see this girl, Mebineta, with her WoW, and she would always be there, and me and her would go back and forth. We met on the first day the project launched, and so I'm like, oh, this is really cool. It's bringing together all these different communities that I hadn't heard of before, and so for me to meet Mebineta and then meet Cashfee and start getting to know some of the other members of the team. I think it's really, really cool and special what you guys have. And we're excited to just jump in on this conversation. Diamond, I know WoW means a lot to you as well.
And Raph, I'm starstruck that we have them on today, honestly. I'm giddy. I'm sure Netta feels the same way. Atare too. I don't know, y'all. Any of y'all that don't know, coming into this space, I'm a sociologist by profession. And so a project that represents intersectional egalitarianism, as far as building bridges, creating opportunities for others, seeing others for the people that they are and their identities that they represent. For me, there's no greater project than we can have in the space. And so WoW was my grail when I came in, and I was looking at WoW, and I was I bought my first couple 10KTF items when the floor was real low. I didn't come to the space with a lot of financial, capital. And so but what I did have, what I ended up building was capital and community with 10KTF. And along that journey, I was provided the opportunity to pick up my WoW. And I've got WoW 5911, and she's my grail. She reminds me of my mom. And before I got into NFTs, I'd lost my mom a couple of years prior too. So for me, that's soul bound, that NFT, regardless of what happens in the larger space or the larger market, it represents so much to me that's bigger than just the project or the utility. It's soul bound. It represents my mom, and it means everything to me. So Yam, Raph, the art and the project you created, I want to let you know that it's not just moving markets, it's moving souls as well. And I really appreciate it. And I couldn't be more proud to be a part of the project.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That means a lot to us to hear. We're always so moved and wordless when community members tell us the reasons why they bought WoWs, and especially when the reasons are so personal, it's always extremely touching. So thank you so much for sharing that.
It adds, to be fair, it adds pressure as well and responsibility. Yeah. And you're looking back at what you do, and you're like, wow, did I do well this time? Do I deserve this kind of recognition and thankfulness? So it brings introspection for us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, we're gonna jump right into it. This is the question that's been on every project founder's mind. It's been making waves in the past couple of weeks. I'm, of course, talking about creator royalties. What is your point of view? Have you taken part in conversations with other founders? And do you guys think that there is a solution to this problem? And I want to just leave the floor to either of you.
I mean, I've been vocal from an artist perspective because for me, one of the very exciting things about Web3 when I started early last year was that artists were able to earn royalties of their craft and their work. And for me, that was incredible because it gave a sense of stability to creative people that did not exist before. And so for me, that felt like a new era, you know, where you can be an artist and make a living out of it. And you have that financial security that comes with it. And so for me, seeing platforms intending to remove that kind of removes one of the core reasons of why NFTs are so important for creators. And so it saddens me. And I've expressed that on Twitter. Because I think that, you know, being an artist is not easy. It's not the kind of job that your family usually wants you to have. It's not a job that when you dream of it, you're like, oh yeah, great. It's going to be, you know, a great job. I'm going to be able to pay my rent from my art pieces. You know, that's not how it is. No one has ever looked at it like that. And for the first time, there was maybe a possibility for that to be true. I
would add on a business perspective as well, when I speak to partners, to potential partners that are further away from the space, and their vision for them, what has been communicated to them so far is that this is a granted. NFTs and blockchain and Web3 are linked to people are able to be paid royalty continuously forever, and it's immutable. And then when this reality that actually this is being challenged currently, and there is already technical ways to remove this altogether, actually it removes a lot of credibility from the space, from the outside, as to the promises that had been made. So I think it sets us back a few years ago, this discussion, unfortunately. And then as far as the big question and the elephant in the room, like does a company like WoW need the income from the secondary revenue? I mean, we're part of the lucky ones. We're part of the very, very successful ones. So we are lucky we have found and we can build. And all in all, we have understood very fast that our business model and revenue cannot solely be bound to royalties and transaction, and has to be part of something more sustainable from a product, a platform, something that we release out there and we monetize. So we understand that, but for artists and even for smaller initiatives that don't have the tools and the means to develop something broader for monetization, I think it's a shame that we go back on this. And it's going to be hard, I think, to reverse that trend, but I hope we find solutions. I like some of the solutions that were shared by other founders, really, like only rewarding the good players, and with time, if only the good players are allowed to play in there, then the bad players will not be visible. I like this idea.
Yeah, just to jump in on that, you mentioned that it looks like creator royalties going forward is not going to be the sustainable model, and you've mentioned some other things. Is there anything you can share on how you guys are thinking about what that sustainability looks like specifically, and how you guys are thinking through this?
I think we've thought about 150 different models. We believe we have narrowed down to 5 options today, maybe 3 actually. I mean, there is the artifact model, I think, which is very successful. They have a great audience, they have an amazing brand, and they are able to release drops after drops after drops. We don't think that's where we want to be going, so we're looking into a different model. But I can share more. I mean, I remember in May, Yam, we were at VCon, and she was already talking about this, about having a product that's here to stay and that doesn't have an end, and that's the revenue source. Since then, to be honest, we've gone this way, then this way, then this way. The Star Map is a good example of the things actually we are experimenting, getting market feedback, user feedback, partners feedback, advisors feedback, investors feedback, and then we keep going if it makes sense, and we have to ship if it makes less sense than we thought. So sorry for not answering the question with the business model today, but it's definitely the number one thing that we're on.
No, I totally get that. And just one quick follow-up there I have is, you mentioned you're getting feedback from all these different stakeholders. I'm just curious, how do you guys, what kind of feedback do you look from community? What kind of feedback do you look from like investors? Is there something specific that you go to for each stakeholder, or is it more just like general feedback? I'm just curious how you guys filter the information that comes in.
Well, you want to go ahead? Okay. So in most recent times, so in the past month, we've done a lot of interviews with community members with the purpose of better understanding what their needs are, what's important to them, and what are things that they do, like on a daily basis, and things that they would actually use. Because for us, it's very important for us as we're developing our product and our future to make sure that what we're doing is fixing a problem that our community members currently have, or that it's helping them achieve something that's important to them and that they care about. And so it was mostly about figuring that out. And that has given us actually a lot of interesting insight into things that maybe we wouldn't have thought about before. Because at the beginning of this year, I was talking about that with Raph right before this interview, that at the beginning of this year, we had developed an idea of what the future of WoW was going to be, and we were very confident about it, and we were like, yeah, so this is what we're going to do, and we started working on it really, really hard, and then all of a sudden we realized, well, this might not be our future, actually. We have to, question ourselves and go out there and talk to the people that are there and that they care about WoW and that are hoping to get something from WoW. And we realized that people at the end of the day want a sense of belonging. They want to connect with each other. They want to build meaningful relationships, both professionally and personally. And that many of them have been able to do that through the WoW community. And so for us, it was like, how can we help them do that? And those are kind of the things that we've been realizing in the past few months.
The user and community feedback, and within the list of stakeholders that I mentioned, advisors, investors, it's obvious we're connected to this ecosystem as well. Even if we're not actively raising funds or looking to raise funds, we speak to investors, to partners, to VC, to corporate. Right. And this is an opportunity really for us also to test the business model that we have in mind, that we have on paper, and to get their feedback. And one take that I have is that everybody has in mind those quotes by I think it was Steve Jobs. Most likely it was Steve Jobs. Like people don't know what they want. Basically, you have to give them what they will want to know. They don't know what they want. But this really works. I think one time out of 100. And we are not trying to figure out what people want. Instead of looking right on our nose, sometimes what are people doing and how to facilitate what people are doing. Mm-hmm. And this has been actually a lot of learning this year around this. And it's been interesting. And this is also why, complete candidness, I'm not sure candidness is a word, we tend to be a bit slow. It feels like we sometimes slow to deliver, to announce, to release. And it disappoints us first, to be honest. But it's the challenge of figuring out the right thing to do. Yeah,
no, I get that completely. I'm a business owner as well. So started from zero, my company. And when you have a startup, like especially at the beginning, it's like, okay, I want to do something. You want to do it in a way, but then you change your mind because it's like, it's such a young little baby growing that you don't know, like you still don't know. You maybe have a vision, yes, but the way you are going to execute on that vision can change during time. So I think that's just the nature of a startup. And I think a lot of the criticism and hard thoughts is because people sometimes forget that these companies are so young. It's like, it seems like it feels almost like you've been in business for 10 years when you're actually not, but it feels like it's been forever, right?
There's also the challenge of you're always being compared to the best. And this is also something we have to live with, and we understand, and we understand the frustration as well. We are compared to the best all the time and to, hey, they are doing this well. Why are you not succeeding in this aspect as well? And we understand it. And we are always trying to improve, even when we don't talk, even when we don't address specific issues. We're trying to do our best on this aspect.
So really quick, the larger market this week, things have gotten a little wild out here with the FTX explosion that happened, right? The CZ, Binance, the block DeFi is not accepting transfers right now, withdrawals. Like the larger space has this like scarcity mindset seeping in over the top of it. I mentioned earlier, Ned had mentioned the way that 10KTF is like giving us like the captains and what they've done, like these little ways that projects are adding value to their community members that isn't necessarily in a monetary sense, right? I know that everyone's monetarily focused right now, but really the origins of the space really come from supporting artists and supporting each other. And so I loved hearing that, like, how can we build these bridges? And I just want to speak to like what you said about candidness and objectivity right now, right? Honesty in this space right now is so important. And I know Shannon came on a space a couple weeks ago and ironed some things out as far as like the larger, like people are looking for monetary value right now, but as monetary value continues to seep out of the ecosystem, we really need to look for opportunity to support each other in alternative value. And so, I don't know, I can't imagine what it must feel like as on the founder side, you know, dealing with these emotional pressures that come with being a founder in itself as the market continues to move around what you're building. And I'm sure like the monetary side isn't something that you consider very much. I mean, well, actually, I take that back, as you said, like the pressures that it adds for me being a holder, Raph, earlier. Like just even being a holder, knowing that what it means to my mom, like the connections, the emotional connections. I don't know. I guess really what I'm trying to say is, how do market conditions impact founders and creators, right? And do you feel more pressure based on these market conditions fluctuating? And if so, how would you manage that stress?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like, I mean, we all have an opinion, right? But you've been dealing with finance stuff, mostly in the company. So I think you're the best.
It's not about finance, this one. It's not about the company's finance. It's, I mean, first, I'd like to state, we are, again, I'll say it again, we are lucky people. We are the lucky ones here. I mean, I didn't have money in FTX personally. The company didn't have either, only very little, like I shared today. So Yam and I were doing better today than we were 2 years ago, and we are super grateful for that. So I think we are in no position to complain or to share pain or anything, because we are the ones that are doing the better in this space today. It's more towards your case. It's always this matter of, is this a good decision? Is this a decision I can look back to and feel like, hey, I made the right move here. It was correct. Somebody else would have done the same. It's not a negative move. It's positive. Because there's business involved. You always want to be more transparent as well. But as you grow, it gets harder to even dare say something publicly. Or I have these difficulties. We are 25 roughly today. So you have more stakeholders, more partners, more people in your management team as well. And it's different than when you're 4 people, when you can just say what you have on your mind and this is all you. And on this aspect, I think it's also slowed down a bit our ability to share and to be more genuine, I would guess. But I think we are in a great spot again, the co-founders and the 2 of us compared to the people this week. And I say that actually because Yam and I remember we had money in Celsius. And we managed to cash out some of it, but we lost money there. And just this feeling of just imagining what it can be if all your money you're saving, your investments are there. I'm like, for me, this is wow. The feeling is terrible because you feel like it's 20 years you've lost maybe, and I don't think you can recover from that mentally speaking. So this is really, really tragic.
I appreciate the consideration of like being part of the lucky ones, because there's a lot of people out here that are still building in the space, trying to find their niche, right? And having to build through the additional pressures right now can't be very easy on them either. So I really appreciate the transparency in that and the consideration of others as well. I really think the empathetic pieces where we can continue to see each other as human beings and not just as PFPs. That's how we're going to end up making it through all this. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
That being said, we feel the pressure and the responsibility, and we are aware we have to deliver.
Yeah.
So I wanted to circle back to one of the questions Diamond had. Just emotionally, like when the market does, go on a downturn, like how do you guys feel that? And not from like a floor standpoint. I just mean like from a wider standpoint, emotionally, like how do you guys navigate that situation as a founder yourself?
I mean, I guess I can talk about my perspective, or I mean, I think that Raph's and my perspective are mostly the same because we live in the same house. But to be honest, like if you're talking about market fluctuations and whether we're in a bear market or not and things like that, I feel like you obviously notice it, right? Because there's less activity, there's less things going on, less people buying art, et cetera, et cetera. But it's not like it really affects your motivation to work or deliver, or it doesn't worry you in like a sense of like, oh my God, because we're going through these fluctuations, we're not going to make it and everything is going to crash. I don't think we ever feel that way. Obviously, it's sometimes disappointing, you know, to see when we're very low, but it doesn't. It really, I don't think that emotionally or mentally really takes us into a dark spot. Like, I don't know how to put it. I feel like I go way more often into a dark spot because of other reasons, like pressure in delivering good work, or like, I don't know, making sure that a project that I'm working on is delivered on time and is beautiful and properly executed. Those are the kind of things that stress me and like make me feel bad sometimes, but not the market, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's a very healthy perspective.
Because I don't have control, right, over the market. So for me, like putting my energy towards that, will that help anybody? Would that help me, my company? If I start stressing about that, it won't. So I'd rather worry and stress about what I have control of instead. Yeah.
And I might have a bit of a controversial take as well regarding to WoW. But looking back, as we were still in a research and an iteration phase, in the try and experiment, and discovery phase, even when this happened and it's still happening, it might have been actually good luck for WoW, because we wouldn't have been ready to, if the market were to go to 10k ETH, to actually carry that wave as we should. Well, meanwhile, this has allowed us to find the right path and be ready when it happens to ride this wave and benefit from this inflection point that we might have missed otherwise. Again, that's very candid and I think with a grain of salt.
No, I hear that. It's you have to be ready for that giant wave, and like who knows if 10k ETH is going to happen. We're all that's been the biggest meme in the market for years, and I don't know, but I do know that like if 10k ETH doesn't happen, there's something exciting coming up. Maybe I know you're going to jump into this.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, like we had to touch these points, and they were like kind of painful points, but let's move to the positive. Let's move to the projects and people building in the bear market and even in this catastrophic market. I know that there is a enormous, great event happening very soon, which is the WoW Gala in Miami at Art Basel. Yes, I can't wait. I don't know, like you dropped the announcement of Ross Gold being host of the awards show, and I was like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm going to the Oscars or something. Like it feels like it's getting better and better every time you drop something about that. I wrote that in our Grailed chat, and one of our friends, Alpha, he answered my message, and he was like, Oscars? Like at the Oscars, do you get your friends being nominated and running for winning an award? No, you don't. This is much better than the Oscars. So I was like, yeah, man, you're right. It's us. Like, so that was incredible. So yeah, let's jump into that. First of all, I want to tell you guys, thank you so much for giving us this incredible opportunity. We are going to announce something right now. Atara, you feel like announcing that? Yeah, let's go. You announce it.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So we've been teasing. Yeah, drum roll, please. We've been teasing this for weeks and weeks and weeks. We've been working on it, and I'm really happy to announce that the Damn Show is going to be hosting the Purple Carpet show at the WoW Gala. We're gonna be interviewing. Yeah. We're going to be interviewing everybody. We're going to, Maybe's got her gowns ready. Me and Diamond have our tux ready. We're going to have our mics. We're going to be interviewing everybody on the purple carpet. Whether you're a DJ or a celebrity, it's going to be a great show. And we're really getting advice from some of the best people in the space. We've been in contact with people that work at the red carpet show at the Oscars, and they're advising us on how they do it. We have people that have worked at Coachella live events. We're working with people that have done like League of Legends esports live events. And so we're getting a lot of input on how to put on the best show possible. And we're so pumped to be there and knock it out of the park for you guys.
We're so excited to have you covering it. It's exciting.
Yeah, thank you so much, because like we talk a lot about supporting artists in the NFT space, and WoW is one of the projects that do it the most with the foundation and all the work in that. But besides artists, there are also a lot of Web3 creators, and we are some Web3 creators. And with this, you are actually supporting people like us and us in specifically. So thank you so much for doing that. This is incredible. So let's jump in, guys. What can you share about this gala? Like, what was your vision? How did the idea come? Like, I don't know. Let's talk gala.
Let's talk gala, baby.
Yeah, let's talk gala. Yam, from your vision to what it's going to be.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to say that we're super excited to have you covering it, because for us, it was really important that every single member of the WoW community could feel like they're at the gala, even if they're not there. So for them to be able to watch it is great. And I'm really happy about this. So thank you. And for the WoW Galaxy, so the WoW Galaxy is gonna be Galactic Glamour themed. And so I know that a lot of people have had a lot of questions like, wait a minute, what does that mean? What do I have to wear? I think that it's completely up to you, like fancy, galactic, futuristic outfit. Otherwise, whatever you want and you feel comfortable in. But that's the theme. So basically for us, we want you to all feel like you're walking into the WoW Galaxy and you're getting all these vibes from the different, origins and things like that. I'm not going to be able to tease all of the awesome activations that we have there, because then that's not fun. But I can say that there is going to be some awesome performers. There is going to be as well little different activities and activations all around the place. It's going to be very pretty, making sure that it's going to be very pretty. And also there's going to be a charity auction. But I can't tell you more about this auction, only that. I'm already spoiling some things. But I'm not talk about this.
Exclusive on the Damn Show.
Yeah, I was going to ask Yam and Raph, what's the outfit? We got to know.
Okay, so as many of you probably know by now, the WoW Galaxy has a theme that is futuristic with a touch of the Middle East. So I'm going for an outfit that reflects that. So it's going to be a satin dress, and then I'm going to accessorize it with a lot of different jewelry things and stuff. So I'm trying to give that futuristic touch to my outfit. And I know that other people from our team are working really hard on their outfits as well, such as Grace, Sirona. Like, they're making things by hand and, stitching crystals to tiaras and stuff. So I'm really excited to see how awesome everybody looks. And I've seen a lot of amazing mood boards going on, circulating around Twitter. So I see that people are serious about this. It's very cool.
Yeah, I don't know yet. I'm late on my attire. Yam and I were discussing whether I should do my beard blue or something, or purple, which is weird, but why not? Maybe this will happen, maybe not. I'm not sure yet. And it's interesting, the gala dynamics, because actually the first event we've ever had was in Miami in actually December 1st, 2021. And it was organized by Yes Jules, actually a community member local in Miami that knows how to party and organize those events. Thank you, Jules, again. And us, we were very YOLO still at the time. We were in a house in Miami and trying to figure things out. And in the end, it was 300 people on South Beach at the Moxie, and it was amazing. And this is where we realized that having people meet each other in real life events was super important, and more than just a gimmick, really. Just like, I mean, maybe in Diamond you met at NFT and NYC, is my understanding, these kind of things. This is how relationships happen, in addition to Discord. And then the gala this year, it's on a much, much bigger scale. And I'm so thankful that we have an amazing team to do it. And part of my team, Siruna and Diana, are working with Yam on the creative aspect, and they are leading project management for it, and they are really carrying this. It's super hard. I mean, it's not our expertise in the first place. We don't throw conferences, we don't throw events. So we are learning on the spot, and Shannon is also bringing a lot of expertise in it. So I'm happy to be managing other topics than the gala, and I'm really happy to go there as a guest, really.
Yeah, lucky you. You don't have to deal with anything.
I mean, this one thing is when you're the host of the event, you feel the pressure and you sometimes forget to have fun. And so, Raph, it seems like you're covered for fun. But Yam, I just want to remind you, please enjoy the gala when it's there. It's going to go off amazing. We're going to do our part to make sure that WoW is represented in the best way possible to everybody online on YouTube and Twitter. And we're so excited.
Yes, I'm super excited too. I really can't wait. I'm actually really nervous too. I'm like, oh, I hope it's going to be, like what everybody expects, and that everyone is going to be like happy with it and enjoy themselves. Yeah, it's stressful. It's stressful because you always try your best and you're trying to make everything that you have in mind happen. And for me, as the creative director of the company, it's like really hard sometimes, because I'm like, I want to have all of those things, and I want it to look exactly like that. And, sometimes half of the things that you want are cut out, are cut, because it's like, no, it's not doable, way too complicated. You're like dreaming. And so I'm just hoping that you all really love it and enjoy it, because we're trying our best and we're having fun doing it.
And I believe it's going to be one of the first time, if not the first time, where we managed to bring a bit of the WoW verse that you've created, Yam, into real life, in addition to the art that we've seen now. And just earlier this week, a beautiful art piece directed by Yam and created by Stefan was released, and we love to see this world being built slowly together and coming to peace. We like that. Hopefully it's going to be great at the gala as well.
Yeah, and I think that in the gala, you're going to get some, I don't know how to put it, but more clarity on what our galaxy is, and what it looks like. I can't talk a lot about that, but I think you will. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I mean, we're excited to see what happens in the wider WoW galaxy, but I do know that WoW media is a thing that you guys are focusing on. And so there's Reese Witherspoon, there's Hello Sunshine. And so I want to first start off with, how did that come together? How did you guys, how did that partnership and that idea take form?
Twitter DMs. That's how everything starts. Reese just slid into my DMs and I freaked out. And that's how everything began, a conversation on Twitter, which was really crazy. Do you remember that day, Raph? We were
we were living in Crete at the hotel. I remember very well. Yeah, it was probably September 2021. So yeah, it came inside a long time before we be announced able to announce anything. And it was indeed mind-blowing. It's a slow process now. It's taking time. But this is the industry standard I would expect. And this
the best things start in the DMs. That's how the damn show started, in the DMs. We slid into their DMs saying, let's do a show together. Okay, so I asked you guys, you guys mentioned it's hard. I would love to understand, what can you share about that? What's happening behind the scenes when it comes to TV production, and how is that going? Whatever you can share. It's kind of an open-ended question for you guys.
Well, it's mostly right now about the thing with World of Women is that it's an open book. It's an open canvas, basically. The art was put out there by Yam. Now people own the art, and the question is, what story do you tell with this art? And so we have the lore that's been created. That Yam wants to keep pretty straightforward. There are planets, there are worlds, there are people living in there. They kind of have their affinities, and now we build onto that. But is it an espionage? Is it an espionage? Is it something comic? Is it a sitcom? So we have a lot of options, and we've been exploring all those options with them. And we also have options on the unscripted kind of thing. So it's really about unscripted or scripted or both. Unscripted goes to production faster, so it's probably the first step. But this is really the process has been really about figuring out the story, and then they would be doing most of the work really after that once the story is out there. And Yam's role there is to make sure the creative direction is respected.
Cool. And with the script writing, so do you guys have people hired from like people that you know, people from Hollywood? I'm trying to understand and what's your involvement in that? Is it like you guys come in and read scripts and guide the vision and they go back and kind of refine it based on feedback? What's the iterative process, I guess, look like for you guys?
I mean, the thing is that once again, the thing that we didn't know and that we're learning through the journey is that everything that is done in show business is extremely slow. And there's a lot of different hundreds of steps that need to be taken before something is decided, before something is shown to people. And so things like writing a script or finding the right person to write that script to begin with, you have to try different people. There's different teams working on things. We're not really involved in that part of it because it's not our expertise. And like, what would we have to say, apart from like, oh, let's not make the bad guy that person, like we can say stuff like that, but it's not like we have the expertise of saying, oh, this is well written and this is not. So it's not like we're super involved in that side of things.
It's more about if indeed they have writers, they have the relationship, they are the producer, and they have the talent manager, and we don't have any of that, and we don't want to improvise ourselves. We wouldn't dare actually, and so it's more about them sharing concepts and ideas and us saying, hey, this is good. And sometimes because they have an idea, we have another one, and that can come to fruition maybe.
We had like a similar conversation with the Wizards founders, going back to all the movie production that they're doing and series production. So we got already that same feedback that everything is like slow. It takes time. Yeah.
With Bear Snake, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bear Snake and we had Elf and Bear on. Yeah. They were great. They have so much experience in media.
And they are from this industry, and they know how it works. We are not from this industry, so we are probably less able to be challenging or to be critics of that than they are, because they are from this world. It's just like when you're a co-founder and you create a business and you're a dev yourself, or you have a technical background. It's usually much easier because you can see through what could be done better, and you don't have to just believe the word of the people you work with. And so that's why when you're in this space, it's easier for sure.
One thing I think about is there's also like beauty and power and strength and naivety, because I've read so many books and I've read about so many things where it's the person that comes in that has no idea of the field that ends up changing everything, because they're not tied to like the preconceived notions or the things that are just standard and everybody just accepts. And so I never want to, while there is that like angle of like people that have been doing this for years do know a lot, I also never like myself try to count myself short, because I'm like, my perspective is unique and my naivety in this can also be a strength, because it's like, I'll say, what about this? And they're like, we've never thought about it that way. Or like, oh yeah, I guess we can cut that out. So it's something I always think about.
True. And it's also something that good investors will recommend to early founders into getting back to it with the beginner's mindset. So it's completely cool. You go back to it with a fresh eye and you'll see the mistakes that you made, and you might see it differently. And yeah, we are all guilty of this at one point in our careers.
WoW G Monopoly are in the works right now. Could y'all share any details about those?
Are my babies.
Before you guys answer, when I see you dance and get excited, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a good.
Cool.
I can see where the excitement comes from, and it's always like a good marker. So we've seen it with the gala and the physicals. It's good to know.
Yeah, no, really, like Monopoly is my baby. It's really absolutely my baby, and the dolls are my babies too. These are two projects that I'm putting a lot of hours and effort on, like every single week. And so for me, it's like, I can't wait for it to be out there. And it's something that actually I've been thinking, like, how can I communicate more to the community about how it is and the behind the scenes for like the Monopoly board and all that, But it's so hard with like a physical product that it's so visual, to like talk about it and make it interesting, because you just want to post a bunch of art, you know, on like Instagram and Twitter and be like, look, this is what it's looking like, but you can't do it. You know, I've never designed a board game before. Obviously, this is not something that is in my CV, like board game designer. But it was a great challenge and a great adventure to do that and to still be doing that, because I'm not done. But it's been great because I get to work with two amazing artists who are creating the art. And I don't know, it's so beautiful. And I realized my passion for writing very long art briefs, and how much I enjoy, you know, creating the storytelling, behind each art brief and how things should be. And I don't know, it's definitely a big passion project for me, the Monopoly, because I got to kind of reimagine how our entire galaxy looks like, and the origins, you know, and why the red skin tones and the rainbow ones and all of that. And really, like, it really helped me solidify like our lore and our story through Monopoly, which is so funny because I didn't see that coming. But I kind of needed to have all of that in place in order to make Monopoly a success, and in order to make sure that the artists working on it could really feel what they were doing. And at the beginning, I was like, holy shit, I just did a 22-page art brief. The artist is going to kill me. But actually, he was like, wow, Yam, this is amazing. I'm feeling so into this story. Like, I can't wait to start working on it. And the whole process was awesome. Like, they've always been so passionate and into the story and everything. And now I always use this 22-pager when I send it to artists that we're working with, and everyone is really into it. So I'm like, oh yeah, all we needed was a great story and interesting lore to make great stuff happen. So it's been a really nice process. And obviously the process is even greater because I have two incredible artists, and that changes everything, because it's one thing to write an art brief, but the magic happens from the artist, you know, in the way that they understand the brief and they put it into life. And they've done an incredible job. So I'm really, really excited for you all to see it.
And I'd like to add on this, actually, that from an outsider perspective, I'm not completely an outsider, but I mean, Sirona, project manager, is working on it. She's dealing with the relationship with the partner, with Hasbro and the manufacturer, and she's working with Yam as the creative director. But when I see the results, I feel like this is it's kind of our way to put the universe of World of Women out there. Because, I mean, let's be honest, our forte and our strongest asset is not doing videos and putting beautiful 3D videos or animate show, like much like 10KTF does it super well. This is not our strong asset, but telling the stories through this Monopoly, actually, because there is like probably 28 or maybe 50 illustrations on this piece, through the door as well, which will be a beautiful piece. I think this can be also the way we tell the story about and around the art that Yam created.
Definitely. Yeah, I agree with you.
Anything to say about the dolls?
Yeah, and the doll. Yes. So I'm so sad I can't say anything about her.
No.
But I think that the doll is a project I've enjoyed massively, because the team that works on bringing her to life is like the most talented people like on earth, basically, that make dolls. And so the whole process is so creatively rich and so beautiful. And all the conversations with them is always like, look, these are the hair options that we have. And all of a sudden you realize that hair on dolls can be made out of like 10 different types of hair and materials and stuff. And you're getting super deep into the process, you know, which is really fun and very interesting. And on top of that, it's such a great team because they're all about respecting the art direction and making sure that the doll, you know, is how I want her to be, and that she resembles my characters, and they need to know some story behind her. So it's like a great way to develop characters for us, you know, that come from our universe. And so this is going to be a great example of a fully developed character from the WoW universe, you know. So it's exciting.
We haven't shared our name yet, right?
I don't think so.
We're going to get another damn exclusive.
Oh my God, Sirona is going to kill me if we haven't. I'm like, ooh, we can't say anything.
But
Let's keep the mystery going.
we're working with Jazzware, which is one of the biggest manufacturer in the world. Actually, they work with Fortnite, with Pokemon, with a lot of big license, and it's actually or hopefully one step of many. And when we call it a door, I mean, you feel like you're talking about a very standard articulated door, but when you talk to them and when you dig a bit more, they just tell you like this might be an industry first in terms of the collectible aspect of this door and the level of quality and of polish, and it's really going to be a collector item more than a door for a kid. And this is when we started the discussion. It was, I think, January or December last year. And this is really the mindset to always start with a premium and then go with less high quality, less high end for a broader audience and have reach in stores. But this one drop is really going to be for the fans and the community.
Yeah. Oh, you're completely right. That's such a great point. It's like you start with the best that you've got, and then you can do the rest, right? But if you start with the rest, it's not the same to then afterwards do the best that you have. Like you want to make a splash with it.
Like we talked earlier about like the reach out with Reese and the DMs, right? Like that's how the whole Hello Sunshine thing got started. I don't know. As soon as I saw the Monopoly like being dropped, right? The initial drop, I was like, oh my freaking gosh. Like this is what a huge opportunity for an NFT brand, right? And seeing your excitement just being involved in a project like Monopoly, like it's got to be invigorating as an artist for sure. But what ran through my head when I first saw that drop was like, oh my gosh, like I know. So I personally like the GameStop NFT team, what GameStop NFT is doing to try to empower creators where royalties are baked in with Immutable X, where there are non-negotiable royalties going on over there, trying to continue empowering creators into the future. But like looking at the empowerment model of WoW and how a GameStop NFT is trying to work into this industry as well, knowing they have previous establishment with Monopoly games and their collectibles industry as well. They have a huge sales route as far as opportunities for future distribution. Not trying to get any alpha or anything, right? But just looking at these opportunities for larger connection within the space and building bridges to really hopefully approach this quote unquote mass adoption opportunities. You know, for me, I think creating opportunities on the business end of things is going to be super important, but it trickles down to all of us as holders. Like I get invigorated because like whatever GameStop NFT is doing, like they gave me alpha in the early days about even getting into NFTs. I wouldn't be in NFTs if it wasn't for some of the people over there. And so just the way that it can all kind of end up coming together in the long term, I'm really excited to see the way the distribution figures its way out for NFT projects and their collectibles into the larger business space of the future. Because I just want to be very clear, we're not at that place yet, right? It's just collectors getting collectibles. I'm really excited to see what VeeFriends is doing with Macy's and their little plushy dolls, and just excited to see these bridges continue to build into the future. So super hyped. Whatever happens with WoW dolls, super hyped about those. I'm not a child. Me and my wife, we don't have kids, but we'll definitely be collecting for sure, right? And then how can we get those out to our nieces and nephews, right? Like to our family.
Yeah, I got a niece and nephew. Yeah.
That trickle down. I think there's some really cool stuff that's headed our way in the future, and it doesn't start without the work that y'all are doing. So I just want to say thank you so much, and I'm really excited to see where this ends up going in the future.
Is Monopoly a game that you used to play?
Okay, let's be honest. Everybody has a Monopoly in their home.
Yeah.
It's just like a toothbrush, okay? Like everybody has a toothbrush, everybody has a Monopoly board, and it's always been this way, and it doesn't matter where in the world you live.
I figured out one of your activations at the gala. There's going to be a place where you can play Monopoly.
There's going to be a Monopoly
board somewhere.
There's going to be a Monopoly board where we can play Monopoly in our gala tuxes and dresses.
Each other.
I don't think that's going to happen, but that's a good idea.
I do call the thimble, y'all. I got this tattoo for 10 KTF. They're thimbles, right? Like translates over to Monopoly and what's going on over there. I'm thimble all the time in Monopoly now.
So there is something very interesting for us, 10 KTF Degens, because we know that you work with Guy Oseary, and Guy Oseary is also founder at We New Labs. So what's super interesting about that is that he's such an important figure, you know, the NFT king, this and that. But how is it to work with Guy Oseary? That's so interesting for me.
Should we joke or should we be serious? No, I'm kidding.
Both.
A bit of both.
Both.
Honestly, it's really great to work with Guy. He's a very passionate person with very I think clear opinions, and so he's really good at guiding us in certain topics, which is really great to have his support and his guidance. He's a great guide. He has a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas, and therefore he has a lot of great advice to give. He also has a lot of experience, both in business, both in show business, and both personal life. And so he's always very open to share that with us. And that's been very helpful throughout our journey with him. Obviously, he's known for being a door opener because he knows a lot of people in the industry, and he's a very respected person as well in the industry. But as a person, like for me personally, on a human level, I've really enjoyed working with him because he's a very genuine and very passionate and very caring individual. And he truly, truly, truly cares. Like when he cares, you can feel it. Like you can feel it with the words, with how he speaks to you, with how he looks at us, like in events in real life. So that's what I would say about Guy.
And I think people in the Web3 space today, they see him as the mogul, the NFT king. Before that, he was seen as this incredible agent of artists. That was the only independent agent succeeding in LA or something like that. I don't know the politics over there, but the feeling I have when we work with Guy, and since we've been working with him, is that his experience as an investor and as helping, supporting entrepreneurs and company grow and picking the right ones and knowing what works and what don't is really, really impressive. He's probably been doing that for more than 10 years, I would expect. And he transitioned from doing what he did best in show business to actually this venture capitalist and a mentorship and advisorship industry, I think very, very well. And so people often ask us, what did Guy do for you? And it's hard to say. It's a whole package. Of course, there are doors open, like Yam mentioned, but there's this whole mentorship and advisorship vibe that goes with it as well.
Yeah.
Cool. And did this relationship start in the DMs as well?
No. With Guy, it didn't start on the DMs. It was actually through our agents.
Cool.
So a few days after we sold out WoW, we got to know our agents, and they're really cool. And so at one point they were like, hey, let us introduce you to Guy Oseary. And so then we started talking with Guy and seeing if it would be a good fit for us to work together, and it was. And so that's how it happened, really.
Like, what is the most important lesson you got from Guy Oseary? There is one that you will say, he always says this, or he taught me this.
I mean, I don't know if it's a lesson, but it was very touching, and it touched a lot of us quite recently, where we had a conversation when Guy, so it was Guy's 50th birthday, and he was having a bit of like a reflecting moment. He reflected on his life, personal life, on his career, on everything that he's done, and he realized that from now on, all he wants is just to do things with meaning and things that matter. And so it was, it was a really beautiful realization and moment to hear that coming from him. And he said that WoW matters, and this is why he wants to do WoW, because it means something to him beyond like everything else that he's been achieving, like in his career and his life, And I think that was very inspiring because that's something that I also realized this year. I was like, I want to do things that make me feel like I'm making a difference and like they matter and like they help people. And if I don't do that, I'm not going to be happy, And so it was very nice to see him say that in the right words, So I think that was a beautiful moment this year.
Guy's a culture shifter more than anything else to me. I have the world of respect for him.
Wow, guys, this was amazing. Thank you so much for this time that we spent together. This was more of a conversation than an actual interview, and we got to learn about you and, have start a relationship with you, I hope. And thank you for everyone watching. Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff. And see you next time. Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.
Everyone.